afternoon. Thank you all for being here, and we're at the regular meeting for the Eagle Pass Independent School District. Today is Tuesday, November 9th, and it is 5:35, and we call this meeting to order. Mr. Mijares, will you please lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, one justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
At this moment, if we can please have a moment of silence, not only for all the people that we've lost with COVID and everything else that has happened, but also for the loss of an employee that we've had recently, Miss Anna Peters. Thank you. Now we'll go through roll call. President, we have Trustee Hiller. We have our attorney, Mr. Strieber. We have our superintendent, Mr. Mijares. Trustee Ms. Fuentes. Trustee Ms. Purcell. Trustee Dr. Alvarez. Trustee Martinez. And myself. The only one we don't have right now is Mr. Perry, Trustee Perry. Now we will move to citizens' communications and recognitions, and I believe we don't have anybody signed up for citizens' communication. First recognition will be recognition of Maria Fernanda Cabañas from Armando Serna Elementary, third grade student, for being selected as the district winner for the attendance awareness coloring drawing contest for all pre-K through third grade students.
Good evening, Mr. President, distinguished members of the board, and of course, Superintendent Mijares. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you this evening. Our first recognition for tonight will be to recognize Maria Fernanda Cabañas from Serna Elementary for winning the third grade division of the district-wide Attendance Matters Coloring and Drawing Contest. Maria Fernanda was tasked with creating a drawing that depicted her favorite thing about school, and she drew a beautiful picture of her entire classroom that showed just how much she loves to learn. Congratulations, Maria Fernanda. And remember, attend today, achieve tomorrow. Attendance works. And now at this time, will Mr. Mijares and the board please come forward for photos with the family and staff.
Next is recognition of Memorial Junior High School Band Director, Mr. Jorge Vargas, for his composition Red Giant, which will be performed at the Midwest Clinic International Band and Orchestra Conference in Chicago, Illinois on December 2021.
Eagle Pass ISD would like to take this time to applaud and congratulate Memorial Junior High Band Director Mr. Jorge Vargas for his grand accomplishment with his composition, Red Giant. Mr. Vargas's work will be performed at the Midwest Clinic International Band and Orchestra Conference. The conference will be held in Chicago on December 15th through 18th. The conference is the largest music conference in the United States, with over 18,000 people attending from all over the world. Mr. Vargas's composition will be performed by the Keller Wind Ensemble from Keller, Texas. The music that is performed at this clinic is very carefully selected by each group, which makes it truly special for the composers. Just to give you some hindsight, this recognition is similar to someone getting their work displayed at the Smithsonian. Congratulations, Mr. Vargas, and thank you for being an inspiration to your students and colleagues alike.
Next, we have recognition of Kirchner Elementary for being selected as the most clean and maintained campus for the month of October 2021.
Inspections have been conducted on a daily and weekly basis on how well EPISD school grounds have been maintained. There have been visitations to not only school campuses, but district buildings as well. This month's recommendation goes out to Kirchner Elementary on their merits for an outstanding job maintaining and keeping the school grounds clean and safe. Thanks to the hard work and dedication from the Cowboys, the school achieved a total score of 65 out of 65. Congratulations, Kirchner, on your campus beautification and perfect score.
If it's okay with the board, I'd like to bring up, it's a consent item, but will be under action. Consider and take appropriate action on the request to accept the grand prize of $1,000 awarded to Armando Serna Elementary for their school library from the HEB Early Childhood Literacy Program, Read 3, Read In.
At this time, we would like to congratulate Serna Elementary and thank HEB for their considerate donation. HEB's goal is to empower Texas families with the tools and resources they need to prepare early learners, ensuring that all children have the opportunity to start their school experience with an equal opportunity to succeed. In fact, this is their 110th anniversary, and they are asking for 110,000 people to take the Read 3 pledge. We all know the Stallions will be taking it. Congratulations, and thank you, HEB.
Once again, we'd like to thank HEB. We will now move to the reports. District reports. Mr. Mijares?
Hello? Yes, good evening. The three reports that you have in the agenda, the financial report, the report is for the first 2 months of our current fiscal year. Expenditure percentages are down. We continue to do our initiatives. They're below the projected budget, which is good. We continue to do well with all the expenditures in our budget, which is going to offset the revenue shortfall that we're anticipating. On the utility report on page 53 through 58, you have the utility report for the whole year, the 12 months, a complete year. When you look at that report on page 53, we saved almost $1.4 million. That's more than almost 3 times what we pay in debt for the retrofitting that we did. So I just want to emphasize that we had a good year, and I think we're going to continue having utility savings in the years ahead of us. The tax report, you have it on page 60 through 62. Collections still look good. Last year we had a 99% collection rate. When you look at the report for the first 2 months, our collections are up by almost 2%, which means we're collecting our taxes earlier than anticipated. All 3 reports look very favorable up to now. Are there any questions?
Yes, real quick. Enrollment,
Yes.
is it improving?
Yes, we got the second 6 weeks. Mr. Gamaria and Mr. Jesse Montalvo gave us the second 6 weeks. We're doing better. The last time I made the presentation, it was about a $12 million shortfall. We're down to about $8 million. And we anticipate getting better as in the next 6 weeks that we get and up to the 6 weeks. But yes, it is looking a little bit better. It's not getting worse, it's getting better.
Good. Questions?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to note that Trustee Perry is here. Now we will move to action items. Number 1, consider and take appropriate action on the request to adopt Resolution 2021-2205 to vote for members to serve on the Board of Directors of the Maverick County Appraisal District, MCAD. Mr. Mijares?
Yes, we have Mr. Mijares here.
Okay, this is an action item. We bring this to the board every 2 years. The directors on the Maverick County Appraisal District serve a 2-year period. The votes that we have is based on our levy. We are the largest, with the largest levy, and so we get the most votes. So we can vote in the directors. There's a little difference here, as I was explaining earlier to our board president. This is the first year that the leftover votes that we have, we need to have a certain number of votes per director. And the leftover votes, we usually give them to the city so that they can have a director representing the city. This year, the leftover votes that we had is not enough for the city to have the votes that they need to have an elected director. So if the county has any leftover votes after they elect their director, it would be good if the county would give those votes to the city so that they can have a director representing the city of Eagle Pass. In the past, that has not been necessary. We've always had the leftover votes that we have always been enough so that the city can have an elected director. So it's a little different. So what you have here, we're only using the votes that we need to have 3 directors from the school board, and that's the way we presented it here. The leftover votes are going to the city of Eagle Pass. Are there any questions?
So right now we're voting on, what is it that we're voting
You're
on?
voting, you go to page 66 on your agenda. We're voting to have a director. It's a minimum of 834 votes, so we're giving Lupita Fuentes 834. We're giving Mr. Hiller 834, and Ms. Martinez 834.
Okay.
And then the leftovers, which are 86, are going to Yolanda Ramon. So we're putting the minimum votes per director there. Whatever we have left over, we're giving it to the city. That's what you're approving tonight. Because if you don't do that, then you will not have 3 directors on the board. You will have 2.
Okay.
As far as votes, how does that work?
It's based on the levy. They look at the levy of each entity, and these are 3 entities. And based on the levy and the amount of the levy, those are the number of votes that we get. We are the ones that get the most votes. And that's why we have 3 elected directors, because we have all the votes, most of them. And the city and the county only get 1 because they don't have enough votes to have more than 1. What I'm saying is, every year since I've been here, we've used the minimum to have the 3 elected directors there, and the leftover votes that we had, we've given them to the city, and that's been enough for the city to have the votes that they need to have an elected director. This time, the leftover votes that we have are not gonna be enough for the city, so they're gonna have to see whether the county can give them some votes so they can have the minimum votes of 834 to have an elected director.
Good.
That's the way it is, and I just wanna make sure that all of us are on the same page and know what's going on.
Mr. Mijares, how many votes will the city be lacking after we contribute our 80-something votes?
I would have to calculate theirs, and it's easy to calculate. It's there. I would have to calculate it, and then come up, like I was telling our president, that that's outside our entity. But what we can do is just contact the county and see if they're, because they don't need the votes. The county, they don't have to have 2 elected officials. Probably they probably only have 1. And then they only need 834. Whatever they have left over, they can give to them. Now, if they have the votes to have 2 elected officials, they have the right to decide to have 2 elected officials because those are their votes. So let's suppose they have enough votes, 834 times 2, and they decide to put 2 directors, then the city will not have a director. The county does not need to give them the votes. They have to be willing to give them the votes. That is the law.
Okay. All right. So, do we have a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2, consider and take appropriate action on the request to award sealed proposal number 22-1311 for outdoor dining and drop-off area at Eagle Pass High School, and the board delegates the superintendent or designee the authority to make related budgeted purchases of goods or services as per board policy CH. Mijares?
Yes, this is a project that we've talked about with the board before. It's for the outdoor eating at the high school. We're still working on the drawings for CC Win. I think that those are coming up next. But right now, this is to accept the bid. Mr. Powell is here in case the board needs any questions, has any questions, sorry.
Go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. It's a pleasure to be here. On November 4th, we received 2 proposals for this project. The highest ranking proposal was from A. Hiller and Sons for $535,000. It was significantly less than the $680,000 we had budgeted for the project. The project's going to include a covered drop-off area for parents that are bringing in the students in the morning. There'll be a double lane feature, so the kids, once they get out of their car, they can maneuver to a covered drop-off area and not have to walk in the rain or in the weather. In addition to that, we are expanding the canopy area. outside of B Wing to enhance the dining area that's outside in that area right now. So that's between B Wing and the girls' gym. So that whole area will be an area for students to dine. There'll also be an area where the food truck can pull in and serve the students to give them another option for their dining experience. New fencing and gates are also part of the project for easier entry into the teachers' parking lot. And lastly, that whole area outside of the girls' gym is going to be paved in concrete because trucks with the additional parents, traffic, and the 18-wheelers now that are serving the bands, we wanted to increase the durability of the pavement in that area. So it's a pretty wide scope of work, and we've got a very reasonable price on the table. So that's our recommendation, is to take the proposal from A. Hiller and Sons. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Questions? If not, do we have a motion? We have a motion, trustee Fuentes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Alvarez. No other questions? All in favor? We have 6 favor and 1 abstention by Mr. Hiller. So motion passes. Or any opposed? If not, motion passes. We will now move to number 3. Consider and take appropriate action on the request of granting an easement to the City of Eagle Pass Waterworks. Mr. Mijares?
Yes, this is an easement that was requested by Eagle Pass Waterworks so that they can work on a, is it a drain line? I think Mr. Barrera can probably answer any questions. It's a drain line,
It's a sewer line.
it's a sewer line.
It's a sewer line that serves the area around Arroyo and the city hall, and it broke and there's no more line, so we need to reroute it. So we need to go through school property.
Do we have a motion? Okay, Ms. Fuentes,
Second.
second by Mr. Hiller. All in favor?
I abstain.
Mr. Barrera will abstain from the motion. Motion passes. 6 and 1 abstention.
Thank you. We'll now move to consent items, and we will take 1, 2, 3, and 4. We did take the number 3, and we want to thank once again HEB, and congratulations to Armando Serna. As consent, do we have a motion? Motion by trustee Fuentes. Do we have a second? Trustee Perry. We have a second by trustee Perry. Any questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Unanimous, motion passes. We'll now move to closed session. The Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District will convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, to deliberate upon the following matters. Number 1, the board will hear the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074. Item 2, the board will hear the request to hire personnel to fill CC Wynn head girls softball coach vacancy pursuant to TGC 551.074. Do I have a motion to convene in closed session? A motion by trustee Purcell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Hiller. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimous. We're now in closed session, and the time is 5:59. And the date is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021, and the Board of Trustees is now in closed session. No action will be taken in closed session. So we're back. The time is 6:07 PM. The date is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Excuse me. And the Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District is now in open session, and we will move to item number 10. Number 1, consider and take appropriate action on the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies, TGC 551.074.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074 as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion. We have a second by Ms. Fuentes. Motion by Ms. Martinez, second by Ms. Fuentes. Any questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? I'm going to say 7. Motion passes. Number 2, consider and take appropriate action on the request to hire personnel to fill CC Win head girls softball coach vacancy pursuant to TGC 551.074. Do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I go ahead and move to approve the request to hire Monica Flores to fill the CC Win head girls softball coach vacancy pursuant to TGC 551.074.
We have a motion by Dr. Alvarez. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Martinez. Any questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Thank you. Mr. Mijares, do we have any information or correspondence?
Yes. Yes, we have 2 playoff games Friday, November 12th. First, we have the Eagle Pass High School here at home against Marshall at 7 o'clock at the SAC. We have the CC Win Mavericks playing Highland High School at 7 p.m. in San Antonio Alamo Stadium. Also, we have a District Service Center luncheon for Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 18th at 12 o'clock. Please confirm if you're attending. Also, all district campuses and offices will be closed for Thanksgiving holidays, November 22nd to 26th. And tax office will open November 22nd and 23rd from 8 to 5.
Thank you. If there's nothing else.
Mr. President?
Yes, go ahead.
I'd just like to take this time to formally congratulate on behalf of the Eagle Pass Independent School District, to congratulate our student athlete, OJ Ruiz, on his competition at the state level for cross country. Fine performance by this young man. We look forward to bigger and better things from him, and he's got a lot of potential to go on represent Eagle Pass on to further college universities. I know after the race it was a beautiful thing to see. A lot of Division I coaches were there to interview him after the race. So it's just a real good thing to see from our students, and it just shows how we're rebounding from all this COVID and the pandemic. Hopefully we can continue to do so and see a lot of successes in our fine young student athletes out there. And just to thank everyone who showed their support for the athletes that are in competition, because it was real tough to do this. And I know all the sports that have been coming back from the pandemic, it's been something to deal with. And I thank our superintendent and his cabinet for making the necessary changes and the necessary things to allow this to happen, because I know in other districts they've been struggling, but we've been trying to make it work, and I think we've been doing a good job. So, but congratulations to OJ once again.
Thank you, Doc. Very well deserved. At this moment, do we have a motion to adjourn? We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.